exhausted. I woke up exhausted this morning. I have to start moving inward again. So I've been moving myself outward, externally, out into the world, sharing what I'm learning, and my soul is beckoning me back inward. So I'm gonna really try to discipline myself and do that, and so I could take care of myself, because I have to balance my external and my internal relationship with myself, and I've been neglecting my physical aspect. But I had a thought this morning, and I wanted to share it. And it is not a complete thought as usual. It's just a very unorganized and raw articulation. Nonetheless, you can see here that I have 3 diagrams, right? Now, we can overlap all these diagrams, and they'll be saying very similar stories. What I want to address here is the topic of this conversation in this video, so I can keep myself centered. I'm kind of getting a little exhausted at the moment, so it's kind of a little bit harder for me to keep focused. My body is saying, hello, pay attention to me, please. It's toxicity beckoning me back to relating with whatever realm I need to relate with better. And I need to relate with the external realm now a little bit, and take care of my body. But okay. So Sam Vaknin has created a model of understanding narcissistic relationships. His model is called the dual mother model, and I'm very, very understudied. I've only been introduced to this, but it nonetheless has provoked some thoughts in me, and I'm going to share them because it does relate to some of my own research. So I thought I'd just go ahead and get it out there. And I think when we're studying narcissism, we're studying personality disorders, part of destigmatizing these things is understanding the dynamics. And so my suggestion for anyone who's trying to understand, and this is not going to be for everyone, of course not, but I think this is illuminating humanity into a much better direction in terms of collective and individual healing, this model from Sam Vaknin. And so if anybody stumbles upon this video and they're interested in healing from narcissistic relationships, healing personality dysfunction, healing relationally, and all that, then I think this is important information. I think what I'd like to say is that I would like to direct you guys to Sam Vaknin, and I'd like to direct you to Richard Grannon. I'd like to direct you to Jenna Ryan. She's very wonderful. She herself is helping humanity heal through her own woundedness. She's a wounded healer. Jenna Ryan, self-love you. She's great, and she explains things in a very simple way. But she's also been a healer and helper in my journey. So anyway, I think I'd like to direct you to those, Richard Grannon, Sam Vaknin, and if you're looking for something a little less cerebral, Jenna Ryan, that's self-love you. But going back to Sam Vaknin's model of the dual mother model, and which I don't know enough about, and that's one of the things I need to take a break from sharing this information and go back into myself and start studying and researching, because what I put out, we can only put out what we put in. So it's time for me to go focus on my own physical well-being, meditate, and go deeply inward into my studies. But anyway, the dual mother model, from what I'm gathering, is the merging, the psychological dynamics of the merging relationship when 2 toxic individuals enter into it, because they have an external locus of control. There's a lot of projective processes going on. I'm not going to go into that right now. But what I'd like to say is that when this is going to be really disorganized, I think I'm in a kind of a little bit of a state of exhaustion, and I probably might have to I'll post this now, and in all its vulnerability, just to get it out there. But I can feel myself needing to take a break from. I have to disconnect from the platform for a little bit. Anyway, so the problem of the toxic relationship, which is merging, which is a need to merge, we are externalizing outer world, ordinary world, Saturnian realms, and I'm going to be talking about things that you don't understand. Sometimes you have to listen to things you don't understand for you to understand it, right? So these are three models that overlap with each other. This is an astrology chart showing us the ascendant, descendant, midheaven, and the opposite of the midheaven, whatever. You know what I'm saying. And then here we have the hero's journey, and then we have a model of the model of consciousness. And you can overlap these, and they're saying the same thing. So when we're merging, we're trying to become whole externally. So the problem of merging, the toxic relationships, are guiding us toward healing. An antidote. What is the antidote? Everything in consciousness is trying to find its opposite. What is the opposite of merging? The opposite of merging is separation and exposure. Exposure, because we have to eliminate the false self. When we eliminate the false self, we take the hero's journey. We go inward. We go into the domains of the unconscious realms. And we heal. We take it back out and we share the information with the world authentically. I want to show this astrology chart here, and this channel is going to be devoted to destigmatizing cluster B personalities, destigmatizing astrology, and this is part of it. So this is an astrology chart. I think when we look at it, I think archetypally it appeals to us on a very deep level. When we see the symbolism here, we do not understand it. It's a language that we haven't learned yet. It's very confusing, but there's an appeal. There's an appeal to what these symbols must mean, and how can I connect to these symbols as connecting into my archetypal realms, and that's what they are there for. So I'm not going to go into deeply. I'm not going into deeply. We are going to explore these things deeply together in this channel eventually, and I have to slow myself down a little bit. I have to tell the day mom, slow down. I'm sorry. I need to go. I need to take a break. I can see where, anyway. So I just want to look at two archetypes in the astrology chart, and teach a very basic understanding here, and how it relates to Sam Vaknin's dual mother model, and what it has to do with the imperative of narcissistic relationships in guiding us toward healing and individuating, and astrology and the hero's journey and mythology and the model of consciousness can guide us there. Now, I'm not going to go into this deeply. I think trust me on what I'm going to be showing you for now, okay? This is Capricorn. Capricorn rules the winter months. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and we'll go into this later. Everything in astrology, everything in consciousness is dealing with dualistic unity. When we look at one phenomenon, we want to look at its opposite so that we can find wholeness. That's where we're constantly seeking equilibrium here. See, this is equilibrium. here, and then this is disequilibrium. So this axis symbolizes disequilibrium. This axis represents equilibrium, and this kind of enantiodromic dynamic exists in everything in this conscious domain that we exist in. So here is Capricorn. What is the opposite of Capricorn? The opposite of Capricorn is Cancer. And these two functioning opposites, Cancer and Capricorn. What is the opposite of winter? Summer, right? Hermes Trismegistus, as above, so below is what we're talking about here. Bear with me. Take this journey with me. And I'm going to learn how to be a better teacher, and I'm going to learn how to articulate better. I'm going to humble myself, and I'm going to take you on my healing journey in hopes that you'll take your healing journey. We can help solve the problems of what's happening in the world. Okay. So this is summer, this is winter. Just bear with me here. This is Capricorn ruled by Saturn. Saturn symbol is it's external. It symbolizes the external realms. But there's a dualistic unity here in its symbolism, and I'm not going to go into that right now. Okay, just bear with me. So here we have the external world, we have the outer world, we have the ordinary world. Saturn, Capricorn, ordinary world. In the astrology chart, Capricorn it's the midheaven. It symbolizes the how consciousness experiences physical world, material world. Okay, and as we move into the autumn seasons. This is autumn, Libra. We're moving into the autumn seasons of our soul, into the unconscious realms. We find healing in the great waters of the Great Mother, the Luna, emotions of our souls. This is the moon. This is Luna. This is our emotions. Emotions are kind of opposite of external phenomenon. Emotions are a bridge between our external experience into the realms of the Mysterium Conjunctionis, the shadow realms, the animus realms, the anima realms, the unknown world, the realm of the Great Mother. So, bear with me here. So in order to heal the merging relationship, what is the opposite of merging? Separation, exposure from what the false self in the external realm, so we can be forced to move down into the realms of our psyche, where dualistic unity, the Mysterium Conjunctionis exists. We're moving into a realm of both existence and non-existence. The very thing that narcissists and all borderlines, and I think all of us really, but I mean, is a fear of non-existence. The ego clings to the I want to exist. When we go into the underworld, where the archetype of the Great Mother exists, we are connecting to the archetypes of existence and non-existence. That's why when we collapse from this false self, we experience a fear of non-existence. That's the abyss. I'm going to just refer here to Jenna Ryan. She talked about the abyss, and that's where I got that. Go to her. She's wonderful. Jenna Ryan, self-love you. Okay. So, talking about Sam Vaknin here, he says that the problem with the narcissist is that during the first few years of life, during that imperative stage where the child was meant to individuate and separate from the mother, they do not. And I'm going to take this further here, and I'm going to say that the child has not separated from the false mother. Okay, so our umbilical cord is if you look down at your umbilical cord, that is an externalization of your connection to your mother. But that's the external mother. That is the mother, that individual consciousness that birthed you into this domain of consciousness. And this umbilical cord is representative of the false mother. Okay. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to go more into this. These are new thoughts for me, but I'm getting this out there because I'm called to do that. And also, this has helped me process, and it's just a wonderful thing to share my healing journey in a very raw way. It's like, hello, this is who I am. Imperfect being. But we're moving ourselves now. When I look at my umbilical cord and I realize that, wait a minute, when I'm disconnecting myself from my need to externalize soothing from the mother, because when we are connected to the false mother, when we're connected into the idea that I'm going to seek external sources of supply to help me feel soothing, to help me feel good about myself, to help me feel special, that's the wrong direction. We have to move into the hero's journey, the call to adventure, moving past the threshold into the realms, the Cancerian realms, the unconscious realms, the shadow realms of our psyches, where the great mother exists. It is an archetypal mother. And we have to go inward for that domain. And it is a very scary realm, because the great mother is it, and this is just a brand new thought, so this is going to be, but the great mother is where we need to seek. We go inward and into the realms of Mysterium Conjunctionis, the joining of opposites, existence and non-existence. And so when we separate and expose, the false self is taken away from us, and we are forced to go into the unconscious realms of our psyche, into the realms of the great mother, not the umbilical false mother, but the mother that connects us all to each other. When I heal and I go inward, I'm connecting back to the collective unconscious, where we all exist somehow. And so this is, astrology teaches us this, the mythology of the hero's journey teaches us this, the model, Carl Jung's model of consciousness teaches us this, life teaches us this, experience teaches us this, that I have to move from external locus of control to internal locus of control. And every one of us has to do that. And I'm moving from the false mother. I'm moving into the realms of the great mother. And so I want to say that. And so what do we do? The problem is the antidote. The problem is merging, externalizing the need for externally our desire for wholeness outside. Where you have to seek inward, where the true great mother exists, and it's dichotomous, and it's scary, because we're dealing with the archetypal realms of existence and non-existence. The false self is this false image of ourselves, a false connection into the world, external world, and that keeps us. I want to exist. I exist in the physical material world, and if I enter into my psyche, I'm going to fall into the abyss, and I'm going to become non-existence. Exactly. That's why we separate, expose. That's what has to happen here in order for these toxic relationships to heal. This is what we need to do in order to heal individually. And I mean, this can go from the micro to the macrocosm, right? Because when we're dealing with these kinds of archetypal dynamics, I mean, when we are external groups of people form a mob mentality because they're not looking, they don't have a connection to their internal constructs, and so they externally seek their supply collectively on the false mother government, church. It is a false mother. And we're moving into, because the physical world, the great father is the physical world teaching us about unification through separation, right? That's the great father. And but we don't want to confuse the need for a false mother into the external world. Everything is internal, man. Hinduism teaches us this, seeking inward self-knowledge. Anyway, so what as I was saying, I'm going to pull this up real quick. This is a comment I made to, what was the channel's name? Narc Survivor. You Are Not Alone. Great channel, another great channel. I disagree with his use of the word empathy. I'm more on the lines with Richard Grannon. Anyway, that's beside the point. I was just made a comment, and I want to say it. So, how do we eradicate narcissism? I mean, on a wildly theorizing, how do we eradicate narcissism? By creating healthy boundaries with ourselves and others that disconnects narcissism from external supply, moving from the external into the realm of the watery, unconscious realms where the great mother exists. Not the false mother, not the mother that born us into this physical manifestation, but the great mother that is inward, that connects us to everything and nothing. And so I envision idealistically, fantastically, of course, that if every codependent, rather than saying empath, because that the use of the word empath can just kind of create a false self again. We got to be careful of that. I envision idealistic and fantastically that every codependent, rather than saying empath as discussed by Richard Grannon, that if every codependent on the planet boundaried ourselves in a healthy way from narcissistic, from the narcissistic tendencies in the collective nature, or in the nature, the problem of our time is cluster B personality disorders. It's narcissism. It's externalization. It's narcissism is the externalizing our needs outward when we need to go inward, and in order to combat narcissism, we have to separate and expose. So I'll go back to this. Try to stay. So the only source of supply for narcissists would be, okay, let me restart this. So I envision idealistically and fantastically that if every codependent on the planet healthily boundaried themselves from every narcissist, the only source of supply for the narcissist would be the enantiodromic collapse into the unconscious realms, where they would be swallowed up by the divine unity. They would be forced to collapse the false self and forced to enter the Mysterium Coniunctionis, where the Great Mother exists, and into the realm of the collective unconsciousness, the realm of existence and non-existence, and the very thing that narcissists fear is non-existence must be faced so that they can witness their own divinity and connection to all. And that is the individuation process in necessity of healing the greatest epidemic of our time, and that is narcissism, antisocial personality, borderline, just personality dysfunction in the first place. Let's heal, my friends. And I apologize about my excitation. I need to go take care of myself. But I wanted to get this out there. I can feel myself depleting. That's my toxicity telling me I need to relate in a different way. I must go back inward. And I probably need to take some time away from this platform for a little bit, because I'm starting to feel depleted, of no fault of anybody else's, but I have to go inward now. And then I can even show you the process of my own relating to you guys and myself, that my body is telling me which direction I need to relate. Toxicity is a guide to healing, because toxic things help us go into the opposite. What is the opposite of toxicity? Healing, right? So anyway, I'm going to go more into this later. This just needed to get out there. And I agree. I was noticing that you can't really hear me when I need to turn up the volume. So I will fix that. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm experiencing some hypoglycemia. I ate last night. I tried to sleep, but I think my body is telling me I need to reconnect to it. Anyway, so this is going to be great things to teach. This is what I'm going to be teaching. Bear with me. Maybe you didn't understand what I was saying. That's okay. You don't have to understand what I'm saying. But you don't trust what I'm saying. Be critical of what I'm saying. But I think in truth protects us. Truth teaches. And so these are divine truths. And I think the collective is ready to heal now, and I want to bring this out. So I'm going to be teaching astrology and mythology. Astrology, mythology, and psychology. That's what this is. This is astrology. This is mythology. This is psychology. And these are all go together in understanding the journey of individuation, the journey of each one of us delving into our divinity, and then figuring out together how to maneuver the divine dynamics of this dimension in this domain of consciousness. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go take care of myself. You do the same.